Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to part 10 of the S2000 upgrades. We're going to be messing around with some more vacuum lines. I removed these vacuum lines from Radium Engineering. They used to be just hoses like this. So I removed those and it cleaned it up a lot better than what it was before. I went on the Radium website and I purchased some of these banjo bolt fittings to kind of clean it up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this stainless tube right here. I'm going to run some crankcase vent lines, brake booster vent line, brake booster vacuum line. I'm going to run all that with stainless steel tubing. Maybe it'll look nice. I'll try to make it as neat as I can. Come over here. We have the intake manifold. Got this fitting. Installed it just a little while ago. It's kind of playing it out, making a route of the tubes and stuff. And then we have this big box. Got my filters. I'm not going to run it back through the intake. It's going to be open air vent. And I also purchased a AEM air intake temp sensor with a little bung. So I'll be welding that whenever that time comes. Just trying to get everything ready. Some more vacuum fittings for the manifold. And got my map sensor in, K-series, to fit the K-series K-tune throttle body. And this, so I also purchased the drain kit for Radium Engineering. They have a drain kit option that you can buy. I haven't installed it yet. I didn't even know about it until I was finding those other fittings. I came across this on their website. So I went ahead and got some of those as well. I'll be putting those on. But I probably won't record that. There's nothing special there. Some more hose clamps. K-series air assist valve or idle air control valve. And another one of these drain kits, because I have 2 catch cans. More fittings. Yeah, just a bunch more fittings. And here's my PCV valve. Since I'm going dual crank, well, I was already dual crankcase, but instead of going through the restrictive PCV valve, I went and purchased a where is it? Adapter fitting to screw into this valve cover right here. This is 14 by 1.2 or 1.5 thread, just so you know if you ever want to do that. And it's a 1/2 inch hose barb, so that just screws right on there like so. So the plan is to kind of run these hoses, run these lines together and come across the manifold and then tie back into these vents. And then this is where the outlet comes, right here on the side. And I'll be probably running those 2 little tiny vents or filters right here in line next to each other. But as far as brake booster goes, I removed the original line because it came across, it made a U-turn, came up, went across the top, and then went into the stock vacuum port right there. So I took that out and I cut up this line. As you can see, I chopped it up. Check valve is in here, so no worries. And I'm gonna leave it like this. I'll slide that. This is gonna be 3/8. I'm gonna slide that tube into here, clamp it, and run across. You'll see it when I start running those lines. And then I'm gonna tie into the bottom of, or the sides, right here of this intake manifold. And that's it. Here's the line that I cut up. It's right here. This is that that U-turn I was talking about from that hose that goes across the top. But actually, what's strange is not only was there a check valve in that line, there was also this little orifice. I didn't know that was ever in there. So just so you know, I didn't know that. I'm guessing this doesn't pull too much vacuum or too fast, or I'm not sure what these are for. But I happened to cut it right in the middle. I didn't do that on purpose. I was wondering why it was taking me so long to cut with this razor blade right here. But it turns out I was cutting right through this. But I was gonna put one of these back in there to act as the orifice, but the fitting I have is actually already orifice to the same diameter. It's installed already, so I don't want to take it loose. But inside here is about the same diameter as the other one I took off. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and slap this manifold on, run those lines, then maybe we'll get to the fuel injectors and start trying to figure out that wiring. It's kind of coming up next after all these lines. So let me go ahead and get it all together and installed, and then hopefully it looks nice. I'm hoping it does. Okay, guys, this is our first piece, and right here is the outlet of the brake booster. Let's see, okay, right there, this is the outlet of the brake booster. It's going to 90, go across the master cylinder, and then it's going to 90 down to go into the side port of the intake manifold fitting that I put on right here. And then we'll get this little short piece right here, which is handy to kind of like line up and mark and stuff like that, where you have to make your bends. But we'll stick that out about right here. Then we'll mark the tube that we just cut off in the bottom, and then we'll make sure we're 90 that way. Then we'll cut it to length, and that should be it for that piece right there. It should be pretty simple. So it's going to come across like this, 90 over, come straight down, then 90 back over into this little fitting, hose fitting, and we should be good at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece off of this section right here. I'll probably cut it like right here. It should fit without hitting anything. I'll cut it off right there, then we'll stick it on there, see what it looks like, and we'll mark it, then bend the 90 that way, and then cut it right here. And then that should be it for that piece. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now, and that should be it for the brake system. Alright, so as you can see, we got our brake booster line fabricated. It says it just comes across 90s over, goes down, and right to that fitting right there. Anyway, might have to build something to support it, keep it up a little bit. But anyway, now we're to the crankcase part, and I opened up one of these filters already. Pretty good size, decent size filter anyway. We're going to try to, this one's going to be in 1/2 inch, by the way. There's a size difference in tubes right there. So what I'll probably do is, it's kind of hard for you to see it, but there's a fitting right here coming out of the side of this catch can right there. I'll get a tube, go across, go underneath the flex fuel sensor, and then come across over to this catch can right here. And here's the other one that goes out to one of these filters, because I have two. I'm gonna probably kick it over 90 up a little bit, or 45, whichever looks best. And then run alongside this tube. This is hose right now, but it's going to be tube. And then we'll probably place the filter somewhere in this area around here. I mean, on the other hand, I could do that, or I could just put one here, right around here somewhere, or just come out and make it easy, put the other one right here. But I kind of want to keep them together. That's kind of why I'm thinking of putting them right next to each other, just like so. Took me a little while to bend that. Well, these are our crankcase lines here, the vents. This was a shorter piece. I didn't need much for this side. As far as support goes, I'm going to see how it goes when I tighten up this nut right here for this one. It's hard for you to see, I know, but I'm thinking if I tighten that one up, it'll support this other tube enough to where I don't need anything extra. I'm not sure yet, but I'll have to see how that goes. But I'm gonna go get me another one of these little 90s. I had to go to O'Reilly's and pick up this one. It fits all right. It's a little large on this side, the diameter, the ID, but I think it'd be okay. But I'm gonna see how it looks after I tighten up this nut right here, this A-end fitting. So I'm gonna go back to O'Reilly's, get the other one that they had, and try it out. And after all that, we'll start plumbing in these lines right here, come across, like I said earlier. But yeah, I'm gonna go to O'Reilly's and get those parts apart, and we'll get it all installed. Okay guys, it's been about a week and a half or so since that last clip you just saw. Since then I did some more work to it, only because it was I was trying to figure things out. But what I did do, and I'll show you here, I did go to O'Reilly's and I purchased another one of these little 90s here. And then also I realized that I had to relocate this. This is what took a while, trying to figure this bracket out. There's not much to it, but it's not going to work in my application since this is for a K series going on an F series. Everything's not really lining up too well, only because this tubing line that I put right here, this goes on two ways. The first way, it was way out here, which was not going to work, and the second way I tried to put it on, which is reversed, it just wasn't going to work. I think the angle was wrong or something like that, so I had to put it at this angle. And you can see I have one bolt in it right there, and the other one is just open-ended. There's no screw holding that part on, but I think it might be okay. Anyway, got that figured out, and the throttle cable will get on, bolt onto here, loop around, and then pull the throttle open like so. So I got that figured out. Took a little while, and then I started running some of these lines right here. These are 1/2 inch. I did this off camera only because I just wanted to see if everything was going to work right before I needed anything, and I didn't have time to record and whatnot. And then I went to work and stuff like that. But anyway, made a U-turn coming out of the catch can, 90s over, and then it's going to go straight down. And I know I had mentioned that I wanted to not come at like go down then come back up with these lines, but I don't think I really have a choice, only because the clearance here is going to be real tight from hitting the hood. I didn't notice that before, and then not only that, it's going to go right over this throttle cable bracket right here. So I just kind of told myself that I'm just going to do it the way Radium Engineering kind of did it. They went down underneath the manifold and then back up into the valve cover. So I'll do the same, and that's what I already have started doing right here with these lines. And then I also came out the top of this one right here. Came at the top of this catch can, 90 down next to it. And then these lines are going to be kind of supported. I'll figure the bracket system out, how to hold these up. And then coming out of here, I will, I ordered these also because I needed to see what I needed, and then I saw what I needed and I went ahead and ordered them already. But anyway, this one needs to be trimmed back a little bit, only because it'll be in line with this other one. As you can see, it kind of sticks out a little bit further. So I'll trim that one back a little bit, and probably gonna, this is gonna be 1/2 inch tubing also, come down 90, and then I'll just kick this one over a little bit, and they'll be running straight down with each other, straight down through the runners of number 2 and 3. So that's what I'll be doing. Once we get those lines figured out, let's connect them at the bottom, and hopefully we'll be ready for the bolt on the manifold at that point. And then we'll also probably put the fuel injectors in and kind of figure out the wiring. And then I gotta wire in the map sensor and the TPS and all that stuff, and the air intake temperature sensor. I have to do that as well. So that's the plan. We'll get started on this again a week and a half, 2 weeks later. Then we'll just continue forward. But right now, I'm going to bend these lines, make them go down, make sure that I'm rubbing against any hoses or any wires, and hopefully we'll be done with the tubing and all the plumbing, with everything. I hope, because I'm spending too much time on it. So, enough talking, I'll get started on all this. Okay, we got these lines bent and routed where they need to go. This is pretty much what it's going to look like. And they both come down to the middle, like I was saying, in between cylinders number 2 and 3, right there. I will, however, I'll trim this hose back a little bit to expose some more tubing. It doesn't need to be so long. I'll do the same thing for this one. And then I'll just connect them at the bottom. And then that should be it as far as crankcase lines, or actually probably any of the lines. Some of the other lines, some of these other holes and ports I gotta plug up. I just use an 1/8" pipe plug that was sent with a manifold. I'll plug those up, and then I think we should be ready for fuel injectors at that point. We'll get all this mounted for good, really nice and tight, and then we'll give it a once over, and if everything looks good, then we'll continue on. We'll put the injectors in and see how the wire is going to fit around this area right here, and then see what it looks like. So we'll continue on. Okay, we pulled the manifold off, and these are the lines that I bent. As you can see, they go down and they split from each other, so I can get the hose on there. I'm just going to attach it from hose from here. I'm going to use a piece of hose to attach it from here to here. And on these lines right here, Yeah, these lines right here, these two, coming from the catch can, or going to the catch can. I'm going to kind of kick them over a little bit, kind of like this, but a little bit lower, and it'll attach to this line, and this one's going to attach or kick over this way, attach to this line. Pretty simple. And then I'll just attach those there at the bottom. You see the end right here, right there. Just going to attach it from there to there, and that should be it for the crankcase lines. And then at that point, I think we're about ready for the injectors. So I'm just gonna cut that hose, put them on these lines real quick, and I'll probably get the injectors out and put them on the manifold, put it back on, and see what we're working with, see how much room we have, and well, see what we can do about possibly hiding the harness a little bit, kind of make it look a little bit cleaner. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these hoses, and then you'll see me put the manifold on. Been another week. Work has been busy. Been kind of hard to work on this project here. But just to kind of pick up where I left off, I said I was going to put the manifold on, and I did. It's not bolted on just yet, but I'm just about there. What I did do yesterday was install the ID 1000 connectors. I depinned the OEM ones and cut off the pin and crimped some new ones. Gotta put that down on all of these. But anyway, I crimped some new ones on here, or the ones that go with it. So this is good to go already. And I'm not going to be able to run this harness underneath the intake manifold because it's going to be too short. Kind of hard for you to see, but it's going to be too short. So I'm going to try to run it in between here. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'll unbolt the fuel rail, fold it or roll it back a little bit, and then try to fit that harness in there. So that's what I'll do there. What I just did right now was I installed the drains on the radium catch cans here. As you can see, those just go down, go around over this cross member right here, and then go down right there by the fender, so it'd be easy for maintenance. So right now, kind of to the point where I can go ahead and bolt this on for good, I believe. Just gotta verify everything one more time, make sure everything's plugged up down below as far as air lines go. And the crankcase lines are done. Just gotta bolt them on, or slide them on the hoses and crimp them down. So I'm gonna remove this plenum. That way I can get to the bolts on the manifold a little bit easier, and just kind of help with the installation of these lines that you saw a little while ago. They're going to slide down the middle and be kind of hard to connect them there. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to unbolt that manifold plenum, and we'll tighten the manifold down, hopefully for good. And we'll get that water pipe, water connection outlet in the back. And I think we should be good at that point. Okay, so this thing is finally bolted on, and I kind of discovered something, and let's see if we can look at it. I saw something that I didn't really like. I talked with my tuner about it, and I guess we think it needs to be addressed. So let me show you what I'm talking about. The slight difference in port sizes. It's not bad. I'd say maybe 20,000. It looks worse than it is on video. We'll say that. But that's kind of what we're dealing with right there, right now. It's not too bad. But I guess if I'm going all out, I might have to get this addressed. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to stop the video right here, and I'm going to have to get that fixed. I don't think it's that hard. I'm going to try a deburring tool, and like the ones that you kind of go across metal surfaces to take off the edge. That's what I'm going to try to do. Like I said, it's not that much. And the only part I don't like it would have to be done on the cylinder head, because the ports are smaller on the head than they are on the manifold. So with that said, we'll stop the part 10 right here, and we'll get that fixed, and then we'll be back. It's not too much more before we finish. I think the hard part is over with already, figuring out how everything's going to work right there. And I will have to order a K-series water temperature sensor. This, I guess, is K-series and F-series. They have a different thread pitch. These are a little bit more coarse than what's on the K-series. I'm assuming different part numbers. So we'll get that ordered and fixed, and then we'll just continue forward. So this is going to conclude part 10 of the S2000 upgrades again. So we'll see you on part 11, and hopefully we'll get this thing wrapped up pretty soon. You can see what I'm up to on my new Instagram. I'll put the link in the description. You'll see why I don't have time to work on this car, because everything going on with work. So it's pretty cool stuff on there too. Some stuff I see on a daily basis. See you guys on the next one.